me, Pixel Piracy is all about two things: fun and adventure. And as a composer, it's my job to express these things, everything that you're going to actually experience in the game, in like a minute and a half or so, right in the main menu. So to get inspiration, I look towards Irish folk music of the dance variety, so jigs and reels, things that use mandolin, guitar, and fiddle, and big cinematic orchestral stuff, the iconic pirate music of film, TV, and other video games. However, the musicians I ended up hiring highly influenced the sound because of the unique instruments they played and just their great ideas. As with pretty much any piece I write, I like to have a blueprint or chart that dictates the instruments I use, the general flow, tempo, key, who has the melody when, just giving me a nice foundation to work with. And for the main title, this is especially important because there's so many facets and things in the game that I need to express and articulate very quickly. So I tend to write main title pieces near the end of the composing process because I usually have a better idea of what the game is about and what it wants to say and what you'll experience when you play it. However, for Pixel Piracy, it just popped in my head and I ran with it. So I sat down with my guitar in dadgad tuning. Has a nice open sound used commonly in Irish folk type music, and thought, I need to create something catchy, hummable, unique rhythmically, but simple, because we gotta pretend pirates are playing this. So I came up with an idea kind of like this. I was like, that sounds kind of cool, a little catchy, simple. Have a nice open D5 chord, which doesn't necessarily mean, hey, it's happy, like D major, or, oh, dark, sad, like D minor. But then we move to an A minor, the 5 minor, and D natural minor, and then a G major, which kind of suggests, oh, okay, maybe we are in a minor key, but we resolve right back to an open D5, kind of keeping it open to interpretation a little bit. And after that, I played this chord here, and I was like, okay, I have a nice start, but what do I do? Where do I go afterwards? So I just put the guitar aside after kind of hitting a roadblock and went for a jog. And the rest of the melody, the harmony, rhythm, everything else filled itself out in my head as I was running. Honestly, revisions were easy. They weren't even minimal because there weren't any at all. So this is actually really short. The only thing I want to talk about is two main things. We had a few suggestions, wanted to try some things because it is the main title, and although everybody loved the original version, we were like, okay, maybe we can do something to make it better or more unique. So one suggestion from the developer was using other sound effects like chains hitting the deck of a boat or something, somewhere in there in percussion, maybe the first half of the piece. So we tried that and we were like, it gets buried back there a little bit, it's hard to tell, it doesn't work as well as we'd like. And the other thing was a suggestion from myself saying, okay, well, we have this retro graphic visual vibe, so maybe we should try some 8-bit sounds and see if that works. So I tried doubling some lines with some different 8-bit synth sounds, maybe different 8-bit percussion, and it was interesting, but it didn't add anything. It kind of got in the way in a little bit, and it was harder to hear the performance of the instruments. So just said, nope, cut it out, keep it nice and natural. As with most of my scores, I try to include as many live instruments as possible. That's because I really believe in the power of live musicians and the emotion moving through the instrument out into the air, picked up by the microphone, just has a unique, cool sound to it that isn't used quite as often in indie video games because there isn't the budget for it and samples are much more convenient. So I played a lot of the instruments myself. Guitar, mandolin, electric bass, some different hand percussion, maybe even a few other things. I don't even remember I played so many different instruments on it. However, I'm well aware that there are many instruments I am not even close to good enough to play on this score, or any score for that matter. So I hire session musicians for that, who are experts in their field and their instruments, to bring the emotion into the score. And for this piece, the main title, I hired an amazing instrument specialist named Wayne Hankin, who plays Gim's horn, recorder, hornpipe, and even had the idea of putting hurdy-gurdy on the main title. And then Janess, who's a phenomenal cellist, brings a lot of emotion into the lines that she plays. And another fantastic composer and violinist, Jeff Ball, who did a great job. However, this wouldn't have been possible without Les Brockman, who recorded some of the instruments that we recorded there and did a phenomenal job mixing the piece, putting everything in its proper place, balancing the levels, adding it nice to a singular room. Just did a fantastic job. Since this is the main title, there's no need for a fancy or complicated music system. However, I didn't want it to just repeat itself over and over again. So one idea we're toying with right now, which isn't in the game yet, but hopefully will make its way, is the main title repeats itself one time, and then it'll randomly choose a selection of different sound effects, background ambience, or even other shorter music pieces to play in between the next repetition. So maybe you hear the main title, after that's done, you hear like some seagulls, maybe some pirates talking smack to each other, and then maybe you'll hear a sea shanty for like 30 seconds, a really short one, and then silence again, and then boom, then the main title hits off again. Just in case you're on the main menu for like 10 minutes, we don't want it to just be the same thing over and over again. Kind of boring. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and maybe even learned a thing or two. If you'd like, subscribe, like this video, or support this video log series revealing the score on Patreon. I'll also provide links to the Pixel Piracy original soundtrack in the description below, where you can stream it or even pick up a copy for yourself. Thanks again for watching and take care.